Tonight, boating season kicks off as rising gas prices drain budgets.
We'll expect to pay a little bit more this year, but it's going to be part of the fun.
The price of fuel, a real bummer for boaters, forcing some to change their summer plans. Taking issue with French language laws in Quebec.
It definitely caused a stir and made us realize how many other people have had the same problem.
A business in Shawville threatened with a hefty fine, shining a light on what some argue are unreasonable regulations. Plus, one last hurrah for the Canadian Tulip Festival.
We have seen well over 250,000 guests.
A busy long weekend in the capital as a sea of visitors washes over the region to see the flowers in bloom. Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with the start of boating season across Ontario. It comes as regular gas prices sit around $1.90 a litre, and many boaters are feeling the financial pressure. CTV's Josh Morano joins us now in studio with more on this. Josh.
Yeah, Austin, it's not a cheap hobby to begin with, but this year it's gotten even pricier. Nonetheless, boats are hitting the water at Manotick Marina today as boaters kicked off their first big weekend of the season.
It's in the water and it's floating.
Steve Ellis was one of the first at Manotick Marina to get his boat in the water.
I love today. Today's boat day.
He's kicking off boat season, but with gas prices climbing, Ellis says a day on the water will cost much more this year.
You have to make the best of it. The gas prices are higher. We'll expect to pay a little bit more this year, but it's going to be part of the fun.
His boat takes around 400 liters of fuel, costing nearly $2,000 to fill in previous years, but he says he tries to save where he can.
It's a little bit more expensive on the river. Sometimes I'll bring it through a gas station and fill it up. I get some looks. Might take a little bit of time to fill it up, but once it's full, it's good for about half the season.
But even that is a pretty penny nowadays, with gas prices in Ottawa sitting around $1.90.
I usually took about $150 of gas, and now I'm over the 200 mark. 240, 250. It's a significant difference.
Don Fournier also launching his boat on Sunday.
We definitely take it out a lot less. The bottom line is I'm not going to put my boat out of the water and store it just because the gas prices are high. But it is unnerving. We go out a lot less than we used to.
Commercial operators are feeling the pressure too. Ottawa Boat Cruise runs more than a dozen tours a day during peak season.
Our gas price has essentially doubled over the winter since last summer, and our prices have stayed the exact same, so it is a cost that falls on us.
Cameron Lammers with the Boat Cruise says their canal boats are electric, but their river cruises still rely on gas power.
It's been a little bit different for us, but we're really excited to still be offering tours and having as many people as we possibly can come with us on the river and the canal.
We'll see you guys on the river.
Back at Manotick Marina, Ellis says even if it costs more to get it on the water, he doesn't plan on missing it.
With especially the longer winter, I plan on being on the water a little bit longer this year. So some long trips, do some camping, it's going to be great.
Analysts warn gas prices could continue to rise this summer to over $2 a litre. But as we heard from Ellis, for some boaters, time on the water is still worth the cost. Austin.
CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us tonight. Josh, thank you for this. And turning our attention now from the cost of boating to public transit issues here in Ottawa. Transpo says O-Train's Line 1 and Line 4 were suspended last night due to staffing challenges. Line 1 from Tunney's Pasture to Blair stations was suspended from around 9 o'clock at night until the end of service at 2 a.m. In a statement, General Manager of Transit Services, Rick Leary, said the closure was, quote, due to a temporary shortage of controller staff that are required for safe operations. Service on lines 1 and 4 has since resumed. Well, in a small Quebec town near Shawville, the owners of a local auto shop say they have been warned by Quebec's language watchdog about its English-only Facebook posts, which violate the province's language laws. It's a rule the shop says needs repairing. CTV's Tyler Fleming has that story.
A proper repair and friendly service is why Jacques Pichet chooses Jer's Auto Service.
Okay.
Have a good day, man.
Excellent people. I wouldn't go anyplace else.
The shop is in the small town of Ladysmith, Quebec, near Shawville, about 90 minutes northwest of Ottawa.
9 years in August.
Owners Jeremy Williams and Aaron Davis welcome everyone.
Est-ce que c'est possible que it's a fully bilingual service? They're coming in to explain issues with their car, and if they can't explain themselves in their language of choice, then it makes it hard, right?
In Quebec, businesses must use French language signage, even online. But the couple's Facebook feeds are in English, and someone complained.
We received a letter giving us a warning from the Quebec government that if we do not start to write bilingual posts, that we risk getting a fine.
Fines can be up to $20,000.
As far as I'm concerned, we haven't done anything wrong. We did the best we can to accommodate everybody, but it definitely caused a stir and made us realize how many other people have had the same problem.
While the majority of social media platforms can translate posts with the click of a button, Quebec's language watchdog says that's not enough, and that businesses must ensure there is an equal amount of accessible French as there is any other language.
Facebook, it should be freedom.
The owners say their Facebook feed is simply meant to be silly.
We saw a baby stroller on the side of the highway missing a wheel, and so we made a post talking about the importance of retorquing your wheels when you change your tires. So is it disheartening? I mean, a little. Is it surprising? Not really.
In light of the warning, Davis has made some changes to the roadside billboard.
We fix cars.
Clearly, the couple looking to drive home their point.
I'm probably going to post something bilingual on our Facebook, but it's probably just going to be funny.
It's just going to be satire, the same as it's been the whole time.
The whole time, yeah.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
Certainly is feeling like boating season, like we just heard from Josh a little earlier, hanging out in the 20s. It is beautiful here in the nation's capital, but we do have some wet conditions to contest with over the course of this evening. 22 degrees right now, mainly sunny, chance of showers overnight, and you can see the cloud coverage rolling in parts of our region. 10 degrees is the low this evening. A potential for a thunderstorm in Kingston and Trenton with highs, or rather lows, of 11 and 12 degrees respectively. 11 is the low tonight in Gatineau with a mix of sun and clear conditions depending on where you are. 8 is the low in Tremblant. Tomorrow, really toasty, 29 degrees. However, there is a chance of rain and potential for thunder in Bancroft, Pembroke, and in Trenton, but well into the 20s, actually almost around the 30-degree mark. Same goes for Gatineau. 28 is the high there tomorrow. And today, with the sun shining, the weather is beautiful, as I mentioned, and the Tulip Festival is well underway, getting ready to wrap up as families take in some of the final days of the festival. CTV's Camille Wilson was down at Commissioners Park earlier today. She's back in studio to tell us all about it. Camille.
Well, Austin, it's the last weekend of the Canadian Tulip Festival, and it's been quite a busy season. There is still an influx of people drawing in thousands of visitors from all over the world, kicking off the busy festival season, and businesses couldn't be happier.
So beautiful.
First time for Sydney Nixon checking out the Canadian Tulip Festival with her daughter.
I had heard about it. Sarah's been here about 2.5 years, and I had heard about how beautiful it was, but I just couldn't get up here at the time that it was. And today's the perfect day. I'm so glad.
Traveling from Maryland, this was a must-see.
The weather couldn't be any nicer,
Right.
And I wasn't able to bring her last year, so she flew in this year, and we're loving it. We're enjoying it, and the tulips are just outrageous.
The show-stopping festival in its final weekend, wrapping up Monday, has seen well over 250,000 guests since it started on May 8th.
We expect to see another 100,000 over this weekend, so we should get close to our usual 350,000 visitors.
And just a few steps away in Little Italy, businesses say the tulips are drumming up business.
I would say almost double, maybe. It takes a lot of prep work and a lot of staffing to get ready to handle a crowd like this.
Ioana German and Dan Vasile came specially for the Tulip Festival. She said she had to dress for the occasion.
I thought while going to see flowers, I might as well be a flower.
Hundreds of thousands of tulips, about 100 tulip varieties, are blooming across the capital. And although it's reached peak blooming season, some tulips can bloom until the beginning of June.
Just amazing.
For me, what was the most interesting thing is to discover so many types of tulips. I had no idea that there are so many types of tulips.
The 74-year-old festival has 120 tulip beds across the National Capital Region, allowing guests to really stop and smell the flowers.
It's taken us quite a little bit of time to just get past the first few beds.
It's so sad.
And the way the sunlight is hitting through the tulips and filtering through, it's gorgeous.
I think one of the things is we both enjoy art, and we both are artists, not professional artists, but we're artists.
The executive director of the Tulip Festival says the Tulip Festival alone creates a $5 million economic boost, drawing big crowds right up until the end of the festival, Victoria Day Monday. Austin.
Yeah, it's certainly a real draw for a lot of people. CTV's Camille Wilson reporting live for us tonight. Camille, thank you very much. A Canadian Conservative MP's visit to Taiwan is being met with swift condemnation by China today. Conservative foreign affairs critic Michael Chong is set to meet with the Taiwanese leaders next week, including the self-governed island's president. CTV's Jeremy Sharon reports.
It's a trip to Taiwan with specific goals.
Making a clear statement that we will not be manipulated by the People's Republic of China.
That is Conservative MP and foreign affairs critic Michael Chong's intended message: to show solidarity with a democracy at the front lines of intimidation from the People's Republic of China and assert Canada is a sovereign and independent country that does not take direction from a foreign government about where Canadian MPs can travel internationally. A reference to comments made by China's ambassador in an interview with the Globe and Mail last month, warning visits to Taiwan like this by parliamentarians could damage trade relations between the two countries.
Let's be clear, China won't like it. And China doesn't like when parliamentarians or senators or congressmen and women visit Taiwan.
In a statement to CTV News today, China's embassy condemned the trip, arguing it contravenes a red line for China-Canada relations, urging Canada to refrain from interfering in China's internal affairs. Taiwan is a self-governed island, but China has long claimed ownership of the territory. Canada's policy has long been to take note of China's claim without challenging or endorsing it.
I get the geopolitics, and I know that the current government of Canada is trying to diversify. I'm not sure that China would be the choice of the best dance partner when it comes to being a country that's aligned on values.
Welcome. Prime Minister Mark Carney traveled to China in January, a trip that led to tariffs being removed from Canadian canola products and some Chinese EVs being given access to the Canadian market, along with the signing of a new strategic partnership.
A senior government official tells CTV News the Foreign Affairs Minister is in regular contact with her Chinese counterparts, and efforts continue on both sides to further a diplomatic thaw. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of Canadian and Chinese relations. For updates on radio, tune in to News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News channel at any hour. Well, the Alberta Medical Association says another patient has died while waiting for care at a hospital in Edmonton. The association, made up of physicians, residents, and medical students, says the patient arrived at a hospital in Edmonton last week and died several hours later in the waiting room. Alberta Health Services says it is investigating the death. The incident comes after a 44-year-old man also died in another Edmonton hospital in December. He had been waiting for care for nearly 8 hours. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says she's open to a southern route for a potential pipeline that would transport oil from her province to the West Coast. Those comments coming in an interview with CTV Question Period host Vashi Kapelos.
I've been pretty clear that I like the idea of a northern route. It gets us to the Asian markets a few days faster. It is less congested and less to navigate with the islands when you go further north as well. But you know, I'm open-minded about what the Roberts Bank proposal might look like. That was the other one that we were looking at.
Now, Smith also says she and the federal government are looking at 5 potential routes for the pipeline. Smith and Prime Minister Mark Carney announced Friday they reached a deal on an industrial carbon price, a critical piece of that memorandum of understanding, with plans for construction to start on a new pipeline as early as the fall of next year. The Public Health Agency of Canada has confirmed a positive case of the hantavirus in a Canadian isolating in BC after leaving the cruise ship affected by the deadly outbreak. Canada's Public Health Agency says testing at the National Microbiology Lab in Winnipeg confirmed the result. Officials say a second person who traveled with the individual has tested negative. The agency also says there have been no further cases identified at this time, adding all high-risk contacts are isolating and will continue to be monitored closely by local public health. It also says the overall risk to the general population linked to the cruise ship outbreak remains low. Here in Ottawa, Barhaven Rib Fest and Poutine is continuing tonight into tomorrow. This popular event, it wraps up at 9 o'clock this evening before returning tomorrow for Victoria Day from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. So theoretically, you could grab yourself some ribs for brunch if you are so inclined. Delicious award-winning ribs, live music, poutine. This event is being held at Clark Field on Houlihan Street.
This is absolutely just a cost-saving measure for the government. It's not what is best for kids.
Coming up, a call to get rid of mandatory e-learning in the province, why some high school teachers are speaking out. There's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is 22 degrees. Some high school teachers here in Ontario are calling on the province to scrap mandatory e-learning, saying the current model hurts engagement in classes. They also argue that it's inconsistent with the Education Ministry's push to cut down on screen time. CTV's Rita Ismail reports.
The Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation says the province is sending mixed messages to students and educators. The union says while the province continues to tighten cell phone rules in classrooms, it's also pushing students toward more screen-based learning.
We're calling for the elimination of mandatory e-learning in Ontario high schools right now, while the minister is calling for possible social media bans or cell phone bans. He really needs to take a look at, is on-screen learning the best for students? And we don't believe that it is.
OSSTF argues mandatory e-learning was introduced as a cost-saving measure, one that has led to larger class sizes and fewer supports for students.
This is absolutely just a cost-saving measure for the government. It's not what is best for kids.
The Federation says funding formulas allow significantly larger online classes compared to in-person learning.
In-person classes are funded at 23 students per teacher, but virtual classes are only funded at 30 students per teacher. And that's baked into the funding formula. Whether students actually sign up for e-learning isn't actually part of the formula.
For students, opinions are mixed when it comes to online learning.
I do more work in in-person school, so if I was online, I probably wouldn't care as much.
I was thinking about doing that next year. For 2 of my courses, I was going to do them at least like 1 in the morning so that I don't have to come to school as early and I can do them whenever I want in the day.
Preferring class because it's like more hands-on. And
teachers also say cell phone policies need to be applied more consistently across schools.
It's absolutely true that cell phones are a distraction for students. Even if it's off and face down, it's still a distraction, I think the data would show. So certainly supportive of that, but there does need to be a more consistent rollout and more consistent support for teachers for implementing it.
OSSTF says it will continue pushing the province for changes it believes better support student learning, both in classroom and at the bargaining table. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Sunshine, that's the story of the day. A nice day to be outside somewhere like here, Andrew Hayden Park, that you can see there behind me. Another beautiful stunner of a day here in Ottawa. Hanging on to the 20-degree mark. Great time to be out on the water and enjoying that sunshine, even though there are some clouds still rolling in. A great day, which is what some of those people were doing today. But a different story out in Calgary. Take a look at this. This is this weekend. As much as 10 centimeters fell on some parts of the city, as well as more snow near Banff and Lake Louise. The snow delayed the opening of an amusement park and some other seasonal attractions as well. So we should consider ourselves extra lucky based on what our friends out west are experiencing for this May-long weekend. The satellite radar showing that weather activity starting to roll in in those evening hours, bringing with it a chance of rain. More on that in just a moment. Right now, out east, it is 10 degrees in St. John's, 7 in Goose Bay, 17 in Charlottetown. And the warm-up really does start around southwestern Ontario. Look at Windsor at 29 degrees. That's the hot spot on this map right now. 24 in Toronto. We're currently sitting at 23, so we're not too far off, and we will be getting close to the 30-degree mark in short order, but it is still quite chilly out in the prairies. Regina and Saskatoon dealing with some snow and a high right now of 3 degrees, 7 in Winnipeg, 10 in Calgary. So it has warmed up in Calgary since yesterday's snowstorm. 12 in Edmonton, 15 degrees in Vancouver, so even mild for them out west on the coast with mainly sunny conditions. 10 degrees is the low tonight here in Ottawa. A chance of showers carrying over into tomorrow afternoon when we will warm up to 29 degrees, so a good chance of things feeling relatively humid tomorrow. With that in mind, in the Ottawa Valley has a chance of a thunderstorm tonight into tomorrow with a high of 28 degrees by the afternoon. As for the Seaway, 9 degrees tonight, 29 for tomorrow. Doesn't look like there's a risk of a thunderstorm there for the Seaway, and the 7-day shows back-to-back days now of 29 degrees. Then things start to taper off, but the conditions will improve on Thursday. Sunny, beautiful conditions, and 17 degrees. So if you're someone that doesn't have AC, you're probably looking at Thursday and thinking, yeah, that's going to be the best day of the week. That and Friday at 19 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Then the rain expected to return for Saturday and Sunday, 40% and 60% chance respectively, highs of 19 and 18 degrees. Well, the May long weekend is the first real test of whether Canadians are willing to pay the price it costs to hit the road this summer. CTV's Kamal Karamali has more on what choices people are making and the changes to keep their budgets in check.
This is our trailer.
This travel trailer is supposed to be on the road this May long weekend.
And then my girls sleep out here.
But instead, it's sitting idle.
There's no way that we can afford this right now, and we need to reel it back.
And just like its owner, Lauren Conroy, it'll be at a standstill most of the summer.
We usually camp at least 5 times a year with our trailer, but this year we can't because we can't afford the gas to haul it anywhere.
High gas prices ranging between 190 cents to over $2 per liter in parts of the country. A ripple effect of the war between the U.S. and Iran and a stalemate over the Strait of Hormuz, a key oil shipping corridor. All of it has Canadians traveling less this holiday weekend.
I don't like the price of fuel, but, you know, if you want to play, you got to pay, right?
And across Ontario, campgrounds full of people choosing to camp within the province, not willing to drive too far. This Ontario-based family had plans to take this RV out west to Alberta, but that trip brought to a screeching halt when they saw how much it cost to fill even half a tank.
I had half to 3/4 of a tank of fuel, so I thought I'd top it up. I shut it off at $400. So that makes pretty much my decision on whether I'm going to be going anywhere this summer.
With the continued instability in the Middle East and all of the impacts to the broader energy system, we're going to see these high prices for a while.
For Lauren Conroy and her family, they've now planned for a summer at home.
It is frustrating. Prices just need to back off a little bit.
In hopes of that relief happening next year. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Doro, Ontario.
And speaking of the Victoria Day long weekend, a reminder of some of the closures here in Ottawa tomorrow. City Hall and all client service centres will be closed. There will be no garbage or recycling collection on Monday. Pickup will be delayed by 1 day next week. All Ottawa public library branches and childcare centres, those will be closed. OC Transpo buses and the LRT will be running on a Sunday schedule tomorrow. And several malls, they will actually be open along with most grocery stores, LCBO and beer store locations. We do have a full list for anyone curious of all the closures online, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Your legacy lives on in every step toward equality.
Coming up, marking the International Day against homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia. Why advocates say hard-fought gains may be at risk. It may look a little bit quiet right there, but this is just as entrepreneurs were setting up at the Nepean Night Market minutes before it officially opened this evening. It is back for another season. This is the 6th year of the market on Baseline Road. Live music, local vendors, food trucks, great times all around. It runs every Sunday from 5 until 9 p.m. until October 18th. Well, today, people around the world gathered to mark the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. Advocates say it's about promoting equality and inclusion, and they are concerned that some of the hard-fought gains may be at risk. CTV's Denise Roberts reports.
This lush backyard oasis is the life's work of Theo Wouters and his late husband, Roger Thibault. But their life together wasn't always beautiful.
Roger and I, we had 10 years of intense harassment, and it was just devastating to our relationship.
The two not only became the first same-sex married couple in Quebec, 25 years ago, they helped start a march against homophobia in Pointe Claire. Today, a special gathering was held in Wouters' backyard to honor that work. Quebec Minister Chantal Rouleau gave him a Medal of Honor from the National Assembly.
Your legacy lives on in every step toward equality and in every person who speaks up for dignity and human rights.
While many of the speeches celebrated progress made and the importance of diversity, some expressed concern attitudes are shifting.
Well, we are worried there's been a downturn in acceptance, where it's become more possible to voice homophobic and transphobic comments.
At Place des Festivals, the theme of this year's Citizens March against homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia was the importance of allyship. Organizers say statistics show intolerance is growing.
For example, there was a report in schools that says that young people are now more uncomfortable with the idea of having a gay best friend than they were a couple years ago.
Olivia Baker says the pandemic and social media have amplified divisions in society.
We are seeing a rise in disinformation about LGBTQ+ issues, but it can also be we're more and more polarized, like echo chambers and stuff like that.
Getting out of those echo chambers and showing up in person is important.
I think being online is not enough. We need to speak louder, and this event is like the perfect opportunity to do that.
For Wouters, it's a bittersweet occasion.
Today is a special remembrance for my late husband, which I still miss very much.
But he says he's determined to keep going. Denise Roberts, CTV News.
In tonight's big picture, nearly 1,500 runners from more than 50 countries took part in the 23rd Great Wall Marathon in northern China, taking on one of the sport's most demanding courses. First held in 1999, the event has grown from about 350 runners into an international race that's attracted tens of thousands of participants over the years. Organizers describe the route as one of the world's toughest marathon courses, with uneven stone steps and steep climbs along the way. Turning now to some of the other stories that you need to know. Atletico Ottawa hosting their Toonie hot dog match in front of a packed crowd at TD Place Stadium. And while fans enjoyed a few meat missiles, they were also treated to a great game against the Halifax Wanderers.
William charges from the back to Manny Aparicio into the penalty area. Vial turns and scores!
Jonathan Vial with a goal, breaking the deadlock for Atletico Ottawa in the first half. And that goal would actually go on to be the game winner. 1-0 is the final score for Ottawa over the Halifax Wanderers at TD Place. Atletico improves to 2 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw on the season. They play again next Sunday at home. Kickoff for that one against Hamilton's Forge FC.
Georges Alexander, hounded here by Smart. Oh, what a shot!
Canadian superstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is reportedly joining an exclusive club of NBA legends who have won back-to-back NBA MVP awards. The Hamilton, Ontario native joins Steve Nash as the only Canadian to not only win the MVP award, but also to do it in consecutive seasons. An official announcement is set to be made tonight on Prime Video.
7 to shoot. Tate drives. The runner is good. Count it.
After winning their home opener last week, the Ottawa Blackjacks are getting back to work on the hardwood tomorrow, hosting the Niagara River Lions at TD Place. Ottawa coming off 86-91 loss to the Brampton Honey Badgers just on Friday. Tip-off for their next game is set for 7 o'clock.
One more showdown to earn a spot in the Eastern Conference Final.
Montreal Canadiens fans, they will have to wait one more game to find out if the Habs will move on to the next round. This was a disappointing game for them. The last Canadian team remaining in the NHL playoffs, falling 8-3 to the Sabres in Game 6. The deciding Game 7 will be played tomorrow night in Buffalo.
Here's a look at Flaherty, scores! Maggie Flaherty, the overtime hero!
And the Ottawa Charge, they will look to bounce back tomorrow as well to stay alive in the Walter Cup final after a crushing 2-1 overtime loss in Game 2 last night. The Montreal Victoire on the verge of winning their first Walter Cup. Game 3 goes tomorrow at 6 o'clock at Canadian Tire Centre. And with the Toronto Tempo's first season underway and the new teams announced as part of the PWHL expansion, it seems the sky is the limit for where female leagues might go. CTV's Heather Wright on what it means to fans and sponsors.
Can you hear the roar from the Hammer?
The PWHL is coming to the Hammer.
It's just so important for all the little girls to see that like their dreams can become possible.
The league has also announced new teams in Detroit and Las Vegas, bringing the total number of clubs to 11, with plans to soon make it an even dozen. The PWHL says 15% of its current players come from the Hamilton area, and a new team here is a big boost for those hoping to make it to the pros.
I think it's a great opportunity for young female athletes in Hamilton, and from us being from Hamilton and getting to represent Hamilton, playing junior hockey is just a great opportunity.
Women's sports are experiencing a surge in popularity. The Toronto Tempo tipped off last week with a sellout crowd for its inaugural home game, the first WNBA franchise outside of the United States.
The cross in!
While the Northern Super League kicked off its second season following an historic year one that saw it quickly become the third highest attended women's football league in the world. These leagues attracting not only fans, but sponsors as well.
It's gone beyond a foundational stage to really gaining momentum.
Carrie Watson is with Westland Insurance, one of the inaugural sponsors of the Northern Super League. She says corporate support for women's sport is crucial to not only helping new leagues get off the ground, but also ensuring Canadian athletes have an opportunity to play and develop here at home.
It was an exciting time for us to really support bringing those athletes home and having a great product on the field for our girls and women to be inspired by across Canada.
Hamilton's new hockey team will play here at TD Coliseum, which has a capacity of up to 18,000 fans. They will likely have an early rivalry with the nearby Toronto Scepters, two teams playing just 70 kilometers apart. It's yet another indication of the popularity of women's sports. Heather Wright, CTV News, Hamilton, Ontario.
It's a big investment, but it's totally worth it.
Coming up, a record investment from the federal government into Prince Edward Island's aerospace sector. What it means for the East Coast economy, right after the break. Well, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow afternoon on your holiday Monday, the Ottawa Titans will be taking on the New York Boulders at Ottawa Stadium starting at 1 o'clock. The Titans are 5-3 to start the season. In case you missed it this week, there's a new head of OC Transpo, and he's tasked with saving the day. Rick Leary has now been at the helm for a month. Some say there is pressure to rescue the system, and he says he has some big ideas that he thinks will help. Leary sat down with CTV's Leah LaRocque for his first one-on-one interview.
Right now, the LRT is running mostly single cars. The buses are late or don't show up, and riders don't trust the system. And now it's Rick Leary's job to change that. CTV Ottawa sat down with OC Transpo's new general manager, who says he doesn't think he's been tasked with an impossible mission, fixing OC Transpo.
Absolutely not. I got to tell you, the people before me have set the foundation for me to come into this job, and I believe I'm going to make a difference. I think the foundation's there.
His priority is fixing the light rail and isn't ruling out big moves like ripping up parts of the track or replacing the vehicles.
I don't disregard anything. You know, if I come to find out that that's what will make a difference long term, then a short investment today is better long term for the overall system. You know, but I have to assess it first. I don't want to commit to anything.
He says he still needs more time before committing to the Eastern Extension opening by Labor Day.
I need the rest of the information coming from RTG and Alstom on the materials management, the installation time frame for all the different vehicles.
Another big move, adjusting the bus schedule by September.
They don't get updated as regularly as they should. You can't get there from here, that type of concept. We have all these new technologies now, a clever device system that gives you the information on true travel times and time of day.
But riders have been promised a better working system before. Leary says he wants to earn back trust.
Trust, it's going to be earned, right? And so that's why our messaging is so important. Be honest about what we're providing today. I said it, 65 to 70% of the buses aren't leaving on time. A third of the time you can't get where you want to go based on our schedule.
Hoping that trust can lead to a bump in ridership that the cash-strapped OC Transpo so desperately needs.
If we start telling them what's fixed, and if they see it and they test it, my hope is they start using us more often.
Leary says it's his responsibility to make the system better for everyone.
There will be challenges, right? We still have old buses in this fleet, but if you don't start seeing some of the KPIs change, then you can hold me accountable.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
Aerospace is likely not the first industry that comes to mind when you think about Prince Edward Island, but earlier this week, a company there landed a record investment to play a role in Canada's defense strategy. CTV's Maria Saru has the details.
Small components inspected carefully, part of the quality control measures at MDS Coating Technologies in Summerside. Up to 120 more workers are expected to join the team, backed by $110 million in federal and provincial funding, split nearly down the middle.
It's a big investment, but it's totally worth it.
Federal Industry Minister Melanie Joly says it's Ottawa's largest investment in PEI's aerospace sector and part of a wider push to strengthen Canada's defense industry. This company's coating technology protects turbine engine parts from degradation, extending their life, improving fuel efficiency, and lowering emissions. Operations Vice President Adam Casey says MDS got its start in military applications.
These coatings on helicopter engines can make those helicopters available when you need them and operate with the parameters you need, so I think that's a critical component.
The new funding supports a project that'll expand the local facility by 50,000 square feet and add new equipment. While PEI's economy has long been built on agriculture, fisheries, and tourism, Premier Rob Lance said advanced manufacturing and aerospace are now becoming a bigger part of its growth.
Today's announcement shows what a small island is capable of when innovation, vision, and strategic investment come together.
For CEO Phil Roger, the goal is to make the growth global.
We're not talking about just a lone coating shop in PEI, being the best in the world.
On the island, that means more skilled jobs in a sector developing steadily, and for Canada, more of its aerospace supply chain being built at home. Maria Saru, CTV News, Summerside, Prince Edward Island.
We're working with the University of Waterloo and the municipality of Kincardine to develop a custom model for this beach in particular.
Still ahead, new technology being introduced at beaches in southwestern Ontario to help keep people safe. We'll have the details straight ahead. Well, as the weather warms up, many people will be hitting beaches across Ontario. In the town of Kincardine, new technology is being introduced at its beaches to help keep people safe. CTV's Scott Miller explains.
A new system to warn beachgoers of unsafe swimming conditions is being installed on Kincardine's public shoreline.
We've had a really tragic past in Kincardine where people have lost their lives because of really dangerous currents, and this will hopefully keep people safe so that when the conditions change, they can pause and take a moment to think about whether or not they should go into the water.
6 people have drowned and 7 more people have almost drowned in the waters off the coast of Kincardine since 2008. In a search for beach safety, Kincardine has created a 200-meter no-swim zone south of the town's pier where many of the drownings have occurred, while adding more life-saving equipment to the beach and piers. But the first smart beach light ever installed in Canada is really the centerpiece of Kincardin's push towards shoreline safety.
This is actually a first of its kind in Canada, where we're working with the University of Waterloo and the municipality of Kincardine to develop a custom model for this beach in particular, and then as the conditions change, the light will change.
Real-time data from buoys off the coast of Kincardine measuring wind speed and direction along with wave strength are combined with predictive modeling captured through 2 summers of studying Kincardine's water patterns and currents to automatically change the traffic lights to let beachgoers know if it's safe to go in the water or not.
Red light, high hazard, yellow light, medium hazard, and green light, low hazard. If I wasn't even from around here and I came down to the beach and I saw a red light, I'm going to think twice about going in the water.
This light is not driven by somebody making a decision. This light is driven off of a model. And that's the first time that that's been done in Canada, where they took the weather information for a few years, collecting it here at Station Beach with the University of Waterloo, and turned that into a model of our beach, so that as the weather is changing, that model is determining what is the red, the yellow, and the green.
Kincardin's smart beach light will be operational at least by June 12th. That's when they're going to have a ribbon cutting and a grand opening, essentially. And some of the families of the drowning victims here in Kincardine will be here to mark the occasion as well. In Kincardine, Scott Miller, CTV News.
All right, the annual Wiener Dog Race.
Well, these pups have a big case of the zoomies, and for good reason. After the break, we'll take you back to TD Place Stadium for a thrilling race at halftime during this afternoon's soccer match. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is 22 degrees.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford. Take your weekend path. We've got the Bronco Sport for it.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now.
We'll see you guys on the river.
Rising gas prices putting a damper on boating season for some in Eastern Ontario, with no clear end in sight for the surging costs. Some are now changing their summer plans.
We received a letter giving us a warning from the Quebec government that if we do not start to write bilingual posts, that we risk getting a fine.
Business in Shawville threatened with a hefty fine, shining a light on what some argue are unreasonable language laws in Quebec.
Here we are on our long weekend, and the blooms are still holding up perfectly.
And the final stretch for the Canadian Tulip Festival, bringing in hundreds of thousands of visitors to soak up the colorful displays. The Tulip Festival generating a $50 million economic boost for Ottawa. And for good reason. Those flowers are beautiful. The sun is shining. It is exceptional weather for that last weekend for the Tulip Festival, although there is some rain in the forecast, waking up at around 11 degrees, and you can see those showers. 40% chance over the course of tomorrow with a high of 29. The same high on Tuesday, 29 degrees, 30% chance of rain. That same chance carrying into Wednesday with 21. And beautiful sunny conditions on Thursday, 17. So it will start to cool off. But then, you know, you'll take those conditions, especially if you don't have air conditioning. That is right in the sweet spot. 17 degrees, beautiful sunny condition for a nice walk on your Thursday. Time now to check in to see what our late team is working on. Our news team is working on for tonight. CTV's Natalie Van Roy is anchoring the 11:30 this evening.
Thanks, Austin. Well, it's certainly a sign of summer. Montreal's La Ronde is now officially open, and the amusement park is also celebrating a few anniversaries. This is a popular one for weekend road trips from Ottawa. One of the favorite attractions, the Goliath roller coaster, is celebrating a 20th anniversary, and to mark the event, a group of riders did 20 consecutive laps. And tonight at 11:30, we'll have more on the Montreal Fireworks Festival and how they're also celebrating a milestone anniversary. Now get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. And join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
Thank you, Natalie. And finally for us tonight, We showed a display, or we're going to show a display of speed and agility at TD Place Stadium.
Well, take a look at this. The annual Wiener Dog Race playing out during halftime at the Atletico Ottawa game this afternoon.
Dash hounds ready to race it off. And KJ, I didn't know you were a big race enthusiast here, but yes, here we go. Far side, that's Turbo Tucker wearing the number 20.
These two are in a different league. Look at them go.
Adrenaline-inducing stuff for sure. That's Turbo Tucker pulling off the win despite some of that long hair. That wasn't going to slow them down, making it even more interesting as well. One using wheels, getting around pretty quickly. This went right down to the wire, yeah, and it was between Turbo Tucker and Opie Dopey, who placed second. Great names.
Tough call.
Great running. Good night, everybody.